Hello, welcome to Bullish. I'm your host, Alex Wilhelm. Now, are you worried about online media? Is your favorite publication going to make it? And honestly, will I have a job next year? I don't think anyone actually knows. Now, I have a riddle for you. Now, what raised $22.3 million and then went bust? Well, here's a tip. It's not some food startup, not some delivery startup, and it's certainly not Uber. Instead, it was GigaOM, a very well-liked publication that was founded originally in 2006. Now, for reference, that's a full year before I joined Twitter. So in March, GigaOM imploded. And that's a very odd timing because just 1 year before, or 13 months before, it had raised another $8 million. So it had burned through all that capital at least. Now, GigaOM was not the only death. Recently, that is. The Bold Italic, an SF-focused publication, shut down this April. The twin deaths were certainly a little bit unsettling. Now, the rule of threes aside, seeing both fold led to a round of resume updating across the writing industry. However, and this is the good news, both publications actually found buyers to a certain extent. Now, a group called Knowingly bought GigaOM's assets, and Sunil Rajaraman picked up the Bold Italic with a partner. The purchases were almost as surprising as the death of the publications in the first place. Here's the question. If you failed the first time, what counts as a second act for a digital news brand? And is there really such a thing as a do-over? Can you bring your staff and readership back? Next up, we have Sunil Rajaraman to tell us where the money is in online news.
Sunil Rajaraman is best known as the former CEO of Scripted, a startup focused on freelance writing. Rajaraman made waves when he decided, along with author and Teal Foundation board member Sonia Arison, to purchase the assets of the Bold Italic from Gannett, the publication's now prior parent. A recent interview with Rajaraman made it plain that his purchase of the Bold Italic isn't completely sorted out yet, saying that his team is figuring it out as we go. What's next for the beloved publication? Let's find out.
Please welcome to the program Sunil Rajaraman. Sunil, my friend, how's it going?
Hey, it's great to be here.
I'm very proud to be here with the savior of the hipsters and all things mission. That's how I view you actually entirely, just up and down. You just saved hipsterdom for all of SF by buying the assets.
You're setting expectations very high here for me.
Well,
the verdict is still out.
Now, very, very broadly, financially speaking, is the market better for publications right now or a year ago? I think it's gotten better or worse.
I don't know if it's gotten better or worse, but I know that a lot has happened.
Certainly.
We've seen sites like Upworthy, Viral Nova, Mike, and others build massive properties in a very, very short amount of time.
But predicated on Facebook's platform itself. So they're based off of Facebook's algorithms, newsfeed, and audience.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's changed things completely. And I think what's happened is it has forced the hand of publications like the Bold Italic and others. And we're
Force the hand in what context? Do you feel extra pressure to grow, or do you feel no pressure at all to grow because you're not chasing the same sort of clicks that they are?
For me personally, I don't feel extra pressure to grow right now. I think with everything I'm going to do with the Bold Italic and its sort of new iteration is very experimental.
Sure.
And I'm going to see what works long term. And not try to build for the short term.
So it's a very good point because I think we've seen almost a business model diversification across publications. At TechCrunch, we're here, definitely events and ads. Those are two core things. Other people are trying new things. So are you seeing other publications do a better job than before at finding other ways to make money than just ads and events?
I've spent a lot of time getting to know other publishers in the business since we acquired the assets to the Bold Italic, and
Sure.
all I can tell you is everybody's trying a lot of different things right now, and no one's quite sure what's going to work.
That sounds like fear. That smells like fear to me. Are people actually afraid?
Smells like opportunity to me.
Very good.
So the thing that we're seeing is, we're seeing some publications fold right now. Like
there was an SF Weekly that also dried up as well. And then
not SF Weekly specifically, but there was
another
another
SF Weekly publication.
That's
right.
correct.
So that's
yeah.
3 around here just this year.
Yeah, and so when people are running away from things like the publishing business, I see opportunity, and I think there's a big opportunity to reset for the long term what the revenue model is for publishing businesses.
So how would you do that? Is it micropayments? Is it paywalls? What's your personal best or favorite bet looking forward 12, 18 months that you want to implement at the Bold Italic that you think will really drive revenue growth for you?
I think content to commerce is really intriguing.
Define that for people who don't know.
Absolutely. So what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a lot of companies. Let's just take one space generically. Let's take the food delivery space.
It's very small. I hear no one uses it whatsoever entirely.
You see Sprig, you see Sprig, you see Plated, you see DoorDash, you
Spoon
see
Rocket, Munchery.
Oh my gosh.
The whole group.
And so because of increased competition, these companies are going to be willing to pay for leads, qualified leads, which they can then secure subscription business,
Sure,
et cetera.
sure.
And so I think there's an opportunity in content that's related to that we could send leads to some of these commerce.
But wouldn't that inform your content in some way? If you wanted to get these referral fees, wouldn't you maybe guide your writers to cover things that have a higher chance? Or is it kind of an organic thing on the sales side that doesn't really impact the editorial side of the publication?
No, it wouldn't. It would impact.
There'd be a wall there entirely.
There'd be a wall,
Okay.
and we're seeing so much backlash with publications that try to break that
Absolutely.
wall.
And rightly so, in my view.
Oh
Absolutely
yeah,
rightly so.
totally agree. And so anything that writers do would not be informed by what's going on the revenue side of the business, period.
So looking ahead, are you looking to hire more on the writing side or more on the revenue side?
I'm looking to learn as much as I can. I'm actually just going to work with a bunch of freelancers right now, produce
Okay.
high quality content, which the Bold Italic was known for.
Yeah, sure.
And that's it. And the number one thing that I care about is reader retention.
Okay.
At the moment, that is the only metric that matters.
But isn't that not a big challenge for you, given that the brand name of the Bold Italic is still very, very strong in this community?
Retention is a challenge. I mean, everybody is competing.
How does that manifest?
So I look at page views to unique visitors and that ratio.
Okay.
And I can't disclose my internal metrics, but I can
It's
tell
6,
you.
by the way. I got it. It's definitely 6.
Yeah. If it 6 to 10, I mean, I'd be
Very happy
I'd be
indeed.
in BuzzFeed land. Yeah.
Right.
That's the only metric in the next 3 months that I care about. If I have good retention, that'll inform everything else.
Now, before we go, who's going to do better, the relaunch of GigaOM or the rebirth of the Bold Italic?
Totally different context. I mean, I always bet on myself, so so of course we're going to do better.
All right, cool. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Bullish airs every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, and you can find it here on TechCrunch.com.